ready, set, go.
All right, I believe you are now live. And I have another phone number here, so I'm guessing.
Might be Krista.
Hello, Krista.
Hello, there she is. Okay.
Yeah, I had a little trouble getting in. It kept asking me for a passcode that I didn't have, so I just entered the other one twice.
Okay. Yeah, I just sent all of them to you in a text, but it's all good. All right, we're gonna mute our microphones and Julie's gonna make us live.
You are now live.
Oh, we are live. Okay, never mind. So we're already live. All right, now we'll call to order. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our June meeting. Did everybody have a chance to go over them?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions, concerns, comments? All righty. We have a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Remember to
Gotta
say your name. Yeah.
Krista, aye.
Joe, aye.
Elizabeth, I.
David, aye.
Karma,
Cynthia,
aye.
aye.
And I for me.
Hey, Genevieve.
Yeah.
It might be easier if you just kind of go down a roll call so we don't overtalk each other and miss the aye. For anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do it that way.
It might be.
Or Karma, do you want to do it that way? Karma's secretary, you want to call it out?
Sure.
Okay.
Barbara.
Aye.
Joe.
Good times. All right.
Joe. Yes? He's got it. Yes. Okay. Dave.
Yes.
Yes. Aye.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
Cynthia.
Aye.
Krista.
Aye.
Genevieve.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes.
Fabulous. Okay. For old business, we'll start with the Cars Beach mural proposal. I sent out an email showing Sally Comport's invoice to do the design work for the new location of the mural. Did everybody get that via email?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions or concerns about having Sally do it, or would we like to open it up for other bids? Eric Evans does have another company that he works with that we could ask for a bid as well to procure the work, but I'm leaving it up for discussion with everybody.
I don't know. I think it would be kind of shady. I mean, she's been with us from the duration of this. I would feel like it would kind of create some animosity if we kind of owe some thank you, but we're going to go with some other group. But, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with your thoughts.
I agree. It's been, what, 7 years in the making?
It seems like it's been a decade.
Almost.
Seriously.
Almost. Okay. So I'd like to.
Well, I would like to interject
Sure.
the institutional knowledge. Deanie Henson and Sally went to the archives and selected that particular photo. So Deanie has been involved from the very beginning, and so has Sally. And I believe Sally would like it to be near Cars Beach Road in Ward 7.
We had this discussion, and we're actually leaving it up to the community to have a say. We just need to, at this time, approve Sally doing the design work for us. And then we're going to open it up to the community to give feedback on the placement and the selection of the photo.
I would like to pull in Deanie Henson and the Hoppy Adams Foundation.
Oh, definitely. We can put him on the panel, that's for sure. Okay, somebody want to make a motion to approve the invoice from Sally Comport.
I make a motion to approve it. This is Krista.
Thank you, Krista. Do we have a second?
This is
is
Barbara. I second it.
Do the roll call, Karma, please.
Genevieve,
Aye.
Barbara,
Aye.
Joe,
I,
Okay.
David,
Aye.
Elizabeth,
Aye.
Cynthia,
Aye.
Krista.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Fabulous. Thank you, everyone. So during my meeting at the Federal House with Sally Comport in regards to the Carrs Beach mural, she has made a request that due to the condition of the farmer's market mural, that we go ahead and retire it and not find a new home for it. Since she was basically the lead on this project, I'm willing to give her this request. I'm informing all of you. If anybody has any objections to it, please let's discuss it now.
Do you know where it will it just go in storage someplace or?
At this point, it's cracked and fading. It would probably, I mean, if somebody wanted it, they could take it, I'm sure. But we're not going to try to rehang it. Sally just doesn't feel it's in a good condition to be rehung.
Okay.
When does she propose taking it down?
Well, it's already down. It's sitting
Okay.
in Brian's office, I think, or.
Well, Brian gets to keep it.
Brian,
Gets to
you
keep
want
it,
to-
Brian.
It's in my office at the moment.
Okay.
Would be a new
would
mural
any
in Salem West.
Would any restoration
Suppose it be hung in the Stanton Center.
We could offer it to Stanton Center, I suppose, and see if they would like it. I'm not sure what the condition of it, but we can definitely.
Well, I know very well the condition of it, and we hung it. My husband and I hung it outside of Pitt Moyer on Hilltop Road last summer at this time, and we got a lot of great compliments. It looked fantastic, shining in the sun. It was fantastic. And by the way, we've already paid Sally Art at Large for a portion of her work that she already did on the Carrs Beach mural. So it doesn't make sense to switch artists.
We're not. We already voted to approve her invoice.
I wanted to give a little bit of institutional knowledge that she's already been paid partly for all of her work, selecting the photo, going to the archives, paying, I believe, for the photo. So I just wanted to add that because some people might not remember going way back almost 10 years.
Okay. And as far as the condition of the mural, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can you hear?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Krista.
This is Krista. Regarding the condition of the mural, what I wondered is there any art group or any conservation group that might want to take it on as a project to refinish it or to repair it, conservation wise?
Well,
It's not really
go
that
ahead.
sort of I will gladly show it to anybody. It's all rolled up in my office. I think we can still use it for some things, but it's definitely has, seen better days. It's not unusable, but I don't think it's something that can be restored.
Okay.
The way it's printed on the material, it's hard to explain, but it's on a perforated kind of material. And having been rolled up and put away for however many years, 10, 15 years, whenever it was made, I'm surprised that it's lasted as long as it has. Cynthia's correct, though. It does still have some value.
It retained its color. You can still make out the color of the woman's dress, and it's remarkable how intact it is. I think I have some pictures that I took of it when it was hanging last summer.
Does anybody know how much it costs to reproduce?
Well, we would have to get a new quote. I mean, it's been years, so it is
Okay.
something that we can bring in front of the commission if we want to reproduce it again, find a new home for it.
Okay.
I did offer it to Latitude 38 at one point because they were looking for a mural for their blank wall, and he said he would think about it. We have not heard back from them, but then when I informed Sally Comport that that was an option, she said that she would just rather that we retire it based on its condition, and that it wasn't honestly printed to last this long. So we have had many years, and especially since it was on the side of faucets and it had so much sun exposure that it did, it is quite amazing that it is in a decent condition. It is cracking and fading though. And no, it really can't be restored. We would have to reprint it.
Okay.
Anybody that wants to see it, I would be glad to show it to them. Please just text me or call me and come by and we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, it is there. So, and we can find a new home as long as they're willing to accept it, you know, as in condition, and, you know, and they can hang it as they wish. She just,
Brian,
maybe
Yes.
an inside display would be better than outside.
Yes, Cynthia.
Brian, just an idea. You know, what you could do, you know, because we bought these bungee cords to sort of hang it from its hooks. You could sort of drape it over the side of the garage facing the city hall, and people could come and look at it. It looks better if it's hung and displayed. So it's just an idea. It might be a displayable area for you.
Actually, I love that idea, Cynthia. That is great.
Brian, you just muted yourself.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, David. That is an incredible idea, Cynthia. Let me see what I can do about that, because I would love for people to see it. It's sitting in my office right now. Nobody can see it rolled up. So I would love
Oh, great. Did you see it hanging on Hilltop last year?
Oh, that was great. I loved that.
Yeah, it was great.
I'd like
Make
to
sure you get-
apologize to everybody for having come late. My wife and I are having my friend Mo Hansen, who's visiting from Paris, outside of Paris, is here visiting, and
Fabulous.
Wow.
stay the whole time. So I wanted to check in and be here for some of this. I had a great talk today with Kirsten too, and I know she's on the agenda for tonight with her VisionWorks project, and I could speak on that, but I just wanted to say I'm glad to be here, and I'm sorry I'm late.
Actually, David's chairing that project, so we'll let David speak on it, and then we can have open discussion on it. I would like to move on to the bike rack.
Best regards.
And please, Brian, though, reach out to Sally and get her permission to hang it, the farmer's market. If you're going to move forward and hang it on the garage, please reach out to Sally first, since she asked it to be retired, okay?
All right, got it.
Okay, the bike rack agreement was sent out. Ashley drafted an agreement between, for the donation from Eric Evans, the Arts District. They're donating the bike racks to the city of Annapolis. I sent out an email with the pictures that we do have. They're still in storage, so we don't have any other additional photos than what we sent out. It costs us no money. It's a donation. We just need to approve them so the city can go ahead and be install them on West Street at the Stanton Center and the Boys and Girls Club. And we can open it for discussion before we vote on the agreement. And if Ashley has anything to add, go for it.
I'll just add that Public Works has already agreed to do the install. So we don't need to, you guys don't need to come up with any funds or money for that.
Motion to approve.
I have a second.
I second. This is David. I second.
Roll call, please, Karma.
Barbara,
Approve.
Joe,
Aye.
David,
Aye.
Elizabeth,
Aye.
Cynthia,
Aye.
Krista,
Aye.
Genevieve,
Aye.
motion passes.
Fabulous. Thank you, everybody. Hey, Barbara, would you like to give us the Poet Laureate update, please?
Sure. Gwen and I are working on revamping. I think I told you last time when I was here, I think it was in May, that we are taking a look at how we select the Poet Laureate. Last time we were pretty academically heavy from people from St. John and the Academy. And we are talking about diversifying in terms of having different people from the community on the committee and possibly getting it down to 5 people instead of the 6 that we had last time. So I'll be working with that on her in August, and I'll be bringing it to the commission in September. We're looking at the timeline realistically to probably have someone in place by January and have the mayor possibly by December pick from the finalist.
Awesome. Anybody have questions or discussion? Thank you, Barbara, so much for heading this Poet Laureate. I look forward to the new one coming in.
We are too.
Yay. All right, summer concert series. Thought we were reopening, and we are now under new regulations again of no gatherings of 25 or more. So we can open this for discussion, but I think we need to come to an agreement whether we're going to carry on with August events or not.
Totally honest, I don't think anybody's in the mood to go anywhere at this point. I mean, I have to speak from, just some of the conversations I've had with folks in terms of, bands getting together, even getting together to practice a rehearsal. I mean, one of my groups is he's trying to bring some people in to kind of actually get together at a very large space, but people are still kind of bugging out because, a lot of folks are in that age, in that risk group. So I don't know, it just might be a few exercise in futility to try to get folks to come out in August, not to mention it's Africa hot in August too. So, there's that.
It is our hottest month down at City Dock at the bread oven. So, okay.
This is Krista. Can I just make one little comment with regards to musicians and music? I know that, and we all know that some of these restaurants locally are having music in their outdoor gardens, where they're having the seating areas, and some restaurants have extended seating into the street and expanded so that, they have the tables safely separated apart. And I guess I'm just wondering, do we have the ability to highlight which musicians are being featured at some of these restaurants? Can we do that on our Facebook page? Or because it's a restaurant, are we not permitted to?
Well, as long as it's free music open to the public. So the commission basically provides free art to the public. If the restaurants are paying the musician, does that mean free or no? It would depend on an entry fee or tickets being sold. I mean, if you could walk down Richmond Avenue and there's a band at Galloway Bay, then it's technically free music. If you had to go inside and actually buy food to sit down and hear the music, then it would be another thing. But if it's outdoors, out in the open, I don't see why. I personally don't see why.
So I have suggested to a couple music friends that if they are going to be playing out and featured at a restaurant that is in an open air area, like a shopping center area, and they happen to be playing at a restaurant or in the parking area or something like that, if they wanted to let us know and send us a Facebook note, I've suggested that. So I guess it's to the discretion of the Facebook page whether or not, within our guidelines, whether or not we could actually share that. But I did put it out there, so I hope that was okay to do so.
Oh, definitely. So what they can do is if they create a Facebook event they can request us to be a co-host. So Art in Public Places can be a co-host, and then the request would come to our social media, and I can review it
Okay.
as long as it's a free event. Yeah, all I have to do is click yes. We're going to co-host, and it instantly goes into our calendar. So that's
And there
really
also
easy.
is there also is a place where they are advertising the streaming. Brian, do you know the actual link for that? I can get it to you, Genevieve, because I just spoke with Dan Haas about it.
Streaming.
There's an
Yeah,
Apple
Bridget does
streaming, but I
that.
think there's another
Yeah.
one too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
So I
streaming
think
group.
if we could promote, if we could promote something like that on our Facebook page, just to give some more visibility to our artists, our musical artists, I think that would be a great thing, particularly in the times that we're in, and because we have not been able to have the music down at the City Dock.
Yeah, I agree. And we have been sharing events on the social media pages. So.
Yep. Okay.
But yes,
Great.
it would
Thank you.
It would make it easier to share if they just go ahead and ask for us to be a co-host of the event.
Okay.
Okay. So, Ashley, do we need to take a vote to agree that we cancel August, or can we just all unanimously basically say that per county regulations, we should not have concerts?
I think she left.
Did she leave us? All right, well,
Looks like it.
okay.
Well, we can just take a vote anyway, just for the record, if we
Why
need
don't we
to,
just- yeah.
Genevieve.
Yeah,
So
she's.
do I have a
I'm
motion?
wondering if it's her. Hang on one second. 175, is that you, Ashley?
No, I think she's left.
Yeah, she's
No.
not showing up on
I
the.
don't see her on here.
But
You
if we
dropped off.
vote on it and it's in our minutes and we send her the minutes, then she will, it's fine.
Brian, can you hang on one second? The phone number ending in 1785. Who is this?
That's Chris. No, that might be Ashley.
Yeah, it
That's
might
what
be
Brian-
Ashley.
Ashley calling in because she got kicked out.
So we have, oh yeah, the 1443.
Yeah, but no one's talking now, so it might be her. So I'll keep it unmuted. Sorry, nothing direct. But
She might have had to step away. All right. Well, why don't we go ahead? Do we have a motion? Can we get a motion to vote on?
Vince.
Okay.
Karma.
In a second?
I'll second it. It's Krista.
All in favor of canceling August City Dock concert events and salsa and tango? Roll call, please.
Barbara,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
David,
Hi.
Elizabeth,
Aye.
Cynthia.
I'm just saying a proviso. It's really not up to us. If the public health officer has said, we have to go and abide by the regulations. So whether we vote or not, it's sort of a moot point. Aye.
Krista,
Aye.
Genevieve.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
We're just taking a vote just in case. Okay, I sent out an email this afternoon, and I'm gonna go over the discussions that I've had over the past couple weeks with local Black Annapolitan artists. I sent out the email just as a synopsis and some visuals of what we have discussed and what Alderman Gay is looking for. Alderman Gay would like to paint Black Lives Matter on West Street in front of Graduate Hotel. It's not just the yellow lettering. We would like to do it either in the mosaic style in the picture in the email that I sent out, or possibly do the letters in a different design. Each letter is a different artist that comes in. We can open it up to all of Anne Arundel County or the whole state, whoever wants to come participate. Similar to the Breonna Taylor mural, there was people from all over the state that came in to help. It would also be temporary paint, so it's not permanent. It would eventually fade away or wash away. similar to what Jeff just used, Jeff Huntington, who is our guest tonight, for the crosswalk on Main Street. So at this time, there is no official proposed design. It's just informing you that he would like to do this on West Street. It's opening it up for discussion from the commission and also from the community. And possibly if we do go down the avenue of doing a different design for each letter, of course, that's, you know, a financial cost for paint because we're using different colored paints versus just doing the yellow letters. So AIPPC could possibly offer some sort of financial assistance with that. And also just supporting it so we can get the permit from the city to do it. I did talk to the assistant city manager regarding it in Public Works, and they didn't feel that there would be any pushback on it since it was temporary paint. And it's also a city road, so it's not, we don't have to get permission from the state or the county. Any questions on that?
Will we be blocking traffic? I guess we'd have
So
to
that,
stop traffic.
yeah. So that's a logistic we would have to figure out what time painting, you know, they normally like you to come in at, you know, very early hours or very late hours in order to have to block the traffic and reroute it. We really weren't at that point yet for getting approval for all of that. First, we need to say that that's even an option and that we were willing to support it since per code, we have to support all the art that is displayed in the city.
Okay. Well, I think it'd be a great idea. That's just me.
Genevieve, I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the agenda, it said bus stop art. So would that include whatever we do on the street be reflected on the bus stop, or would that be separate?
So that's a separate project idea. That I'll get to that a little bit later. This is like actually a multi-step proposal of many different projects that they're talking about doing. And then additionally, Alderman Gay would like to bring a mural project to the path of Harbor House and Eastport Terrace by the pool. He did discuss it with Housing Authority already. We would of course have to include them in the approval process. There is a wall there that would be accessible. There again, there's no design, there's no particular design. He's just looking to bring some positivity to that area. Some sort of mural that kind of changes the narrative and brings something that the community can work on together, the residents there, along with a local artist or artists, as Jeff does. He brings in multiple artists to do his stuff. So that could be something that.
Where's this at, Genevieve?
At Harbor House.
Okay. Maybe can you get us an image of the wall? And then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. So.
I'd like to interject. I think we really do need to, as they say, keep it local. Elijah Wilson was gunned down last summer. He's a 14-year-old in that neighborhood. And then today in the city of Annapolis, we lost another 14-year-old. Now, these tragic deaths are so heartbreaking. And I really would like to, as I say, continue on a memorial to Elijah Wilson to bring some comfort to his mother. And then, you know, the 14-year-old who was shot today. I mean, I think we really need to remember these children.
Yeah, these projects would be open to the community for feedback and presentation as far as concepts and ideas from the artists. And we're going to allow the residents in the community to decide what it is that they would like there in their neighborhood. AIPPC in no way would come in and dictate to them the mural that would go up. In addition to that mural, I spoke with Commissar Brown Jr. again today. He would like to submit 3 different mural concepts for Ward 7, 6, and 4. He has a concept in mind that he would like to do, and it's representation of the past, the present, and the future. He has 3 unsung heroes within the music industry that he would like to represent. In the past, he would like to do a mural of Hoppy Adams, and for the present, he would like to do Del Ray Richardson, and for the future, he'd like to do Dylan Gilmore. We do not have exact locations for these murals at this time. He's opening up to suggestions in these wards. We picked these wards based on the unsung heroes that he actually wants to represent. Ward 7 is closest to Hoppy Adams, so possibly we did discuss that maybe Georgetown East, we could work with the county, maybe do a mural there for that elementary school. We didn't really have a specific place for Ward 6 or Ward 4. So those commissioners and council members can work with Commissar to try to find the best area for those. Does anybody have questions on that
Genevieve,
project?
Can
Yes.
you forward his contact information for me? Because I'm in Ward 4.
Yes, ma'am, I will,
Thank you.
definitely. Yep, yep. Okay, and then Elizabeth and I were working on developing a rotating gallery exhibit of local Black Annapolitan art. We honestly don't feel that we have any hindrance in getting the art, procuring the art. It's mainly displaying the art. So we need locations where we can add to our current galleries. We have, the city hall is currently closed down. It's not open to the public, but we have Pitt Moyer that's open. But we would like to have galleries in each ward within walking distance in each neighborhood, possibly that is open to the public, that we could hang the local Black artists' work to display just the talent that we have in this town. And it can be a rotating gallery exhibit. And then when I was discussing this with Alderman Gay, he said, well, what if instead of actual inside gallery areas, we propose that as art at the bus stops? So we're back again to the discussion of having art at the bus stops. I don't really know why that didn't go through the first time. Barbara may know, or somebody else that was on the commission before may know why. I know it was a point of discussion and that they did talk about doing a beautification process with the current bus stops by adding art, but I think it stalled for some reason.
I think it's because, Genevieve, I think they were tearing the bus stops down and creating new ones.
And there is a new one going in, yes. And
at the time, they had removed they were in the process of removing the old ones to put the current ones up. I think that was the reason why it kind of couldn't kind of go through.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Yes, that's my recollection too, David. And
Okay.
we didn't want to proceed if half of them were not going to be completed and that we were going to start a project that was only halfway through.
Right. Thank you, Barbara, for making me not seem like a nutcase. Appreciate that.
Do any of you remember that Jen from SOFO had an idea for a project for the bus stops as well?
Okay.
In the last couple of months.
Okay, I'll reach out to her and see what she was thinking, but that could definitely be an option. Instead of putting it in an inside gallery, it would get a lot of exposure if we can put art at the bus stops as well.
Yeah, because I'm trying to even think about areas in Ward 6 that you put an art exhibit that has that kind of foot traffic that you want to generate so that people can see it. And I'm kind of scratching my head at this point.
Yeah.
Just to interject, Lori Stout is the SOFO art representative. So it would be Lori Stout, who you speak to about the art.
In SOFO? Okay.
Yeah, Lori Stout.
Okay.
Stout gear.
And then, yes, yeah, I remember her coming to our meeting. And then we can talk to, the arts district and then the other wards for their bus stops and see where we are. We can also talk to the city too to figure out which ones are being replaced and which ones aren't. So that's a project that we can continue to work on going forward with the city.
Just to interject about SOFO, the fence on the Annapolis Middle School, they're continuing that with the students, the student art project. And we contributed $250 to that project last time. I believe Lori Stout was going to come to the meeting or a future meeting to request a similar donation so that fence project along the Annapolis Middle School can continue.
Okay.
And by the way, that also highlights the history of Ward 7 and Cars Beach and the airport that used to be down there.
Any other comments or questions about the bus stops or any of the other projects that Alderman Gay has requested?
No.
Okay. So with the installation, once that moves forward with the Cars Beach mural, we've had discussion about continuing it as a photographic mural walk of Black Annapolitan history. So there's a concept out to broaden this as installing additional black and white historic photographs downtown in various places, maybe 1 or 2 a year. It's all open for discussion and just concept at this point in time. And then we would, if we moved forward with it, we would open it up as a panel with local historians, Chris Haley, Janice Hayes Williams, the local community to come together.
Vince Leggett.
Yes.
Deanie Henson.
Yeah. And come together and help select the photos that we would display.
I suggest that we pull this project closer to the Cars Beach, Sparrows Beach site and make an exhibit at the visitor center, similar to the WANN exhibit at the Smithsonian, so that people can, when they visit Annapolis, the visitor center, they can learn all about sort of a walk or a bike trail to see these old sites.
Yes. So when Jeff gives his presentation in just a moment here, he'll talk more about making it all the art connected. And that would be the point of doing this photographic historical mural walk. It would connect to the other art walks and to Jeff's projects. And hopefully, as Jeff will tell you, through a electronic device. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is that Commissar Brown Jr. is looking for a gallery location. He would like to open his own gallery. He would like it to be in an open warehouse space type of area with concrete floor. He has this vision that he would like to do with ample parking, and he would like to eventually hold events there and then have a rotating exhibits with other artists coming in from various places. And I will send out his contact information. If anybody has any suggestions or ideas of where he could find this place to begin his gallery and display his artwork, because he also does canvas art in addition to murals. And you can send him his suggestions or reach out to him and see if you can help in any way. Art Farm did offer to display his artwork in the meantime. It's really hard not having things open to the general public and large groups of people to have exhibits at this time, but it's an option.
Here's an idea. If you're familiar with Housley Road near the mall, There's
Yeah.
this old cinder block building. It's quite large, but it does have parking, but it's sort of vacant, and that would make a really great studio.
I think that's actually one of the places that he was looking at as a possibility. So that is good.
Yeah, that'd be a great spot.
And then last on my little list for this, and then we can move on to just some quick updates, and then Jeff can give his presentation. Thanks for your patience, Jeff. I appreciate it. We have been asked to provide 2 plaques, one for the Breonna mural, Taylor mural at Chambers Park, and also a plaque for the Carl Lester mural, telling the story of the murals. So if anybody happens to not be familiar with the subject pieces of each mural, that there would be something on hands that gave some information about it. Signcraft will be procuring a quote for us. I don't have that yet at this time, but I would like to present it to the commission to see if it is something that the whole commission is willing to move forward with, is funding it.
Kind of depends on how much
Julia
it's gonna
Gibbs
be.
is an expert at these plaques. The last one that she got was about $110. It was a bronze plaque.
I'm sorry, Carmen, what were you saying? Thank you, Cynthia. I will contact her too.
I said a lot of it will depend on how much it costs and, the labor involved and where we're going to affix it and things like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree on that. This is Krista. I agree that it's a great idea. And again, to back what Karma's saying, that, it depends on how much it all costs, but I'm sure we can work on coming to, a good consensus of something that we could afford and that would be appropriate.
Yeah, the smaller plaques, like the 6x8 plaques, are generally a couple $100. For the Breonna Taylor mural, we were thinking more of a storyboard type plaque, something that would go into the ground. It is a Parks and Rec property, so we could have Parks and Rec install it through the city, so we wouldn't have to hire somebody separate to come and install it. But definitely when I get the quotes back, as long as we approve to move forward, when I get the quotes back, I can send them out to everybody so we can see what we're looking at. And then, we can get 3 different bids if that's how we want to move
Yeah,
forward.
I'd like to see a variety. This is Krista. I'd like to see a variety of what they're thinking of putting in before we vote on it and before they install, of course.
Definitely.
Hey, Jennifer, do we have, I guess the design of the plaque is entirely up to us, or are we kind of married to a particular aesthetic that goes along with the mural? We can do it.
I did
Brian,
ask,
you could speak to that because we ran into some problems with the Heritage Commission. They have to approve it.
If it's inside.
Yeah, what I was thinking of on that note, Cynthia, this is Krista. I was kind of thinking too of some of the walking plaques that they have in the Eastport area. There's a couple that are down by the Maritime Museum. There's even one over by Jeremy's Way. So something that would be appropriate for the city of Annapolis that we wouldn't run into those problems with.
Right, they have to be approved by the Heritage Commission.
The Heritage Commission just wants to make sure that the wording and the information is correct.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right.
Sally Compart might be worth consulting on that bid or that idea for that information, because the images that she put up that were supposed to be up for 3 or 4 years have now been
Right.
up for 10 years, and they're still holding.
Oh, no,
up there.
13, 14.
So she might be worth reaching out to on that idea for Chambers Park. And speaking of which, I wanted to ask one question. There's a triangle kind of information thing on the corner of Washington and West Street for the fourth ward, and
Right.
it's got some 3-dimensional like letters on it, and there's 1 or 2 letters that have been popped off, and I don't know who's responsible for the maintenance of that, but I didn't know if it was Art in Public Places or who. It just might be worth fixing it.
I'd have
Brian, can you bring that maybe to our next meeting, and we can put that on the agenda if you have information to share on
Yeah,
that?
I'll try to get an image, because
Yeah.
I've just noticed it when I'm up and down West Street. There's a letter or two missing off of this great information board about the old Fourth Ward. So I'll try to take a photograph and have it ready for the next meeting.
Cool.
And the
Brian,
Carl Lester, that sounds great, Brian. The Carl Lester mural was more of a kind of a private project, if you will. I mean,
Yeah.
we certainly gave our support on it. So if they have something in mind that, if Comasel and his group that worked on it had something in mind that they're interested in with regards to a plaque or something that will fit into the building, and the owner of Pinky's is in approval of that, then, that could be something quickly that we can get up, as opposed to maybe some of the others that might need a little bit more, attention on them. I don't know. Just a thought.
All right, so I did ask Comasel and both Jeff what they would like to say on the plaques, so we do have the wording, considering that they're not historical content, which the other issue before was that it was historical content and it was inaccurate historical content. I believe that we are fine in this instance, but we can double check. Brian, I would suggest that you ask.
Heritage Commission still has to approve it.
Okay. Brian, I would ask that you ask Ashley regarding the old Fourth Ward display, if there's a contract on hand at the city, to see who is responsible for it and who does maintenance.
Will do.
Thank you. Okay.
I heard it. I'm back on. I'll see if I can find anything.
Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it. Okay, that closes out my notes on the elevating the Black Annapolitan artists. We'll update real quick about the chickens. 3 of them were removed. They have been recouped at Maryland Hall. They're holding them there currently. And yes, thank you, Brian. Brian and Damien and Gavin personally went out and got them. There are still 2 chickens though, that there's one that needs either repair on site, yes, yeah, wah, wah, or to be removed. The chicken itself is fine. It's just the stand in front of the Graduate is failing. So we're going to look at that and try to see if we can repair it. And then there's one more over across from, it's in the parking lot next to Hudson and Fouquet. The beak is broken. So it's the Mona Lisa one, I believe, the black and white one. So anyway, and
Can we take a beak from one of the others and put the beak on that one?
We could. Well,
Cannibalizing the chickens.
Yeah.
You're still gonna have one beakless chicken.
One beakless chicken. So there's
Genevieve, I know the one at Graduate needs help. What are the other 2 again?
There's just one more. It's the black and white one next to Hudson and Fouquet on West Street. It's kind of tucked underneath the tree, but the beak is broken on it. So,
All right.
I
So
still think we could light them up at Christmas time. I still think we should think about lighting them up, but that's
they'd be
another
cute
for
to
another.
light.
Just light them
Yeah,
on
we can-
fire.
No, not that. We can get maybe Eric, the Arts District, in on that for decorating them. But so
Just to throw back to a previous topic, sorry. Unsung heroes, I think Natalie Ballard, and also Lassie Belt. I think they would be really wonderful artists, one who's passed on and, one who's living, but I would love to have them recognized.
okay, yeah, we can definitely send suggestions in too. Okay, I know Jeff has to get going, so I want to wrap this
I
up.
have an 8 o'clock meeting
yeah,
on the other side of town. I'm sorry.
That's only 4 minutes away, so let's get time.
I know. So the wooden structures at the Chesapeake Children's Museum have been removed. We're good to go on that.
Hey.
So, yes, and then we'll move right on to Jeff Huntington, please. Thank you for joining us, Jeff.
Okay, thank you.
The floor is yours.
So I have something to share here. Let me see if I can get it on onto your screen. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it there?
We got you. Yep.
We
You're
can
live.
see it.
So this is some of you may be familiar with this already. This is the Kids Making History mural tour that I started presenting in 2015. I think this is our third time presenting it. And there's 9 murals in the tour currently in this proposal. 4 of them we've managed to produce already over the years. You can see now I've brought in the Banneker Douglas Museum and the Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture as our partners. So this is just our mission. You could find our mission and vision and our team on our website. The Banneker Douglas, their mission. So I'm just going to move forward to the project statement. So basically what we want to do is create a series of murals that start at the President's Hill location, at the President's Hill mural. And we want to develop a virtual docent app. So the docent in this case will be the kids that work on each mural. So every mural is done with a different group of kids from various outreach programs in various communities around Annapolis. And they're guided by a whole group of Future History Now teaching artists. And most of our teaching artists are African American, and about 95% of the kids we work with are youth of color. Most of the projects are based on, the content is local history, though some of them are American history, such as John Lewis and the President's Hill mural itself. The John Lewis is a new mural that is been added to the history tour because of recent events. And we had a wall for it right across the street from we had a wall offered to us across the street from the President's Hill mural. And that we thought was a great location, but yesterday morning, they didn't like the content. So we lost that wall, but we did gain funding. T-Mobile has offered to fund this one. And this morning we got interest from the Wiley H. Bates Heritage Park. So I've been talking to Pam over there, and Tony Strong Pratt and Janice Hayes Williams suggested that one. So the idea is for people to be able to schedule on their own time a gallery tour of these murals. Come to Annapolis, and all they have to do is put the virtual app on their phone, the docent app. And then the kids will be the voices that tell them about the content of each mural, and then tell a little bit about their experiences working on it. And then they'll direct the viewer to the next mural on the virtual map that would be on your smartphone. This is just a map I put in here so that people could get a visual. I don't know what the distance is. It's probably a quarter of a mile or a half mile from President's Hill, and it goes down West Street, stops in at the Banneker Douglas Museum. It does jog off here to go to the Star Theater mural that's at the St. Anne Cemetery, and then it would end on Gorman Street behind Main Street, where you exit the Hillman Garage. There's a building that Janice believes is still owned by the Blum family, and we've been proposing a Hoppy Adams mural for that last tour. I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping around. I'll just back it up again. So here's the President's Hill mural, which many of you may be familiar with. It's mural number 1 on the tour. It's already produced. This is a proposal for the John Lewis mural, which we recently just got denied the wall. So this may move to a different location, may or may not be part of the mural tour. We're open to input on that. And as Genevieve was saying, we believe this virtual docent app, once we get the developer working on things and we figure out how it all works, we hope to be able to expand it to include a larger mural tours, and maybe different types of mural tours, a driving one that goes from ward to ward, one that's just for the design district, you know, a little trip over to West Annapolis. But right now, this project just focuses on you know, these Future History Now murals done with kids,
Jeff?
along a brief walking path. Yes,
Jeff,
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Carol Henson, who owns the building right next to 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
is very interested in hooking up with you to talk about a mural on his
Okay.
building. And I think John Lewis would be incredible on that location.
Yeah,
But I will help connect you. If you need connection, just let me know.
Okay, I appreciate that. I think that would be a great location too. This one has always been very important to us, the Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. This one, well, most of these murals were, a lot of them, Janice consulted us on them, and Carl Snowden had some input on one of them, Anna Greenberg. So we've consulted with these historians that I talk about. This is Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. We're interested in this building, 79 West Street, because part of it is an architecture firm, but the other part is a medical center. Dr. Dan was the first successful African-American to perform an open heart surgery in the 1890s. His grandfather founded the Asbury Church. So not only would his mural, his likeness be depicted on a medical center building, but he would be looking at the church that his grandfather founded. And if you go across his crosswalk, that's Washington Street. At the end is the Stanton Center. And as a child, he went to the Stanton Color School. So there's a lot of relevance in these murals that are locally relevant historically to the very concrete in some cases that the murals sit on, such as Pearl Bailey. Right around the corner, this is another one we were able to self-fund and get produced in 2018. And on this garage, as many of you know from reading a lot of the work that Janice put out there, the building took the place of 33 minority businesses and roughly 22 homes. And Pearl Bailey performed, worked at one of the places, and also lived on the block for, I believe, 2 years at a period of time when she worked at the Washington Hotel. So we're just trying to include a lot of the histories that took place on this block. This is the Star Theater mural. And Anna Greenberg grew up upstairs from the Star Theater. So we sat down with her in her home. She's now in her 90s. Her father owned the Star Theater. That's Jake, her uncle, who owned the grocery store that was on the next block of Northwest and Calvert. So this is just some interesting history, we feel. It's got a map from the 1920s era, and the Star Theater was the only African-American movie theater in Anne Arundel County from 1926 to 1965. So in black and white, we have all of the history of the theater and the block, the two blocks in this area. And what's in color is a Vanitas themed mural that is for the cemetery behind it. And Vanitas is a 17th century Northern Dutch genre that pays tribute to mortality and to the dead through their still life and the different symbolism. Anyway, moving right along into the parking lot between 49 West and Stan and Joe's is this wall that you can see is a concrete patch on top of cinder block, neither of which are historic material, and as you can see is covered in mildew. So I always thought that would be a great place for Ava Cassidy, who was a local musician and played in this area until her death in 1998. And I've spoken with her ex-boyfriend, with musicians who have performed with her, knew about her. She performed and recorded with Chuck Brown. And we thought this would be a great musician to have in the music corridor of the Arts District. Moving right along, you could
Jeff,
stop.
her folks are still alive, and also her brother
I'm
and
sorry?
cousins.
Her folks are
I can
still,
put you in touch with her family.
Okay, I believe, yeah, I believe they are still in Edgewater, I think. That would be wonderful. If this goes through, I would certainly love to have their input.
Yeah, her father and brother still occasionally play at 49 West.
Cool. Okay, so Banneker Douglas Museum, we'd like to add to the tour. So this is a mural we recently completed called Mary Church Terrell, a key pioneer in the intersectional movements of civil rights and suffrage. It's part of the Black Vote mural project that's currently installed, and this is in the front room. So it would be easy for people, it would drive traffic to this institution. And it's also, once you go in and sign in, it's in that whole room right to the left of the entrance. But we just want to partner with the Banneker Douglas Museum because we want this mural tour to be part of a larger conversation that's already marked by the statues and the murals that already speak of various histories around Annapolis, including the Harlem of Annapolis kiosk, the mural at the Stanton Center, the Thurgood Marshall, if I don't know if that is going back, but let's see, the next piece, this is a wall that is at an angle. It's non-historic, painted stucco, and it's at an angle on South Street. You see it from, this is the view from Church Circle, and the wall is angling right into the windows of the circuit courthouse. So once you go through security and walk down the corridor, this chief judge will be staring at you through the window. This originally we wanted it to be Thurgood Marshall, but after talking with Carl Snowden, he suggested the Honorable Robert M. Bell, who was the first African-American chief judge for Maryland. So none of the murals that are just in proposal form right now are set in stone. They're just placeholders and ideas for us to present. And we're open to changing things. And one thing I want to note, as you go into the historic district, the murals become more conventional, more monochromatic, black and white, with less or fewer abstract elements in them, just to make it a little bit more, shall I say, consumable for everyone.
more conservative.
More conservative. So this is Hoppy Adams. This is believed by Janice to be on a building that we're proposing that is still owned by the Blum family. Now we want to include Morris Blum into this mural proposal. I just never got around to doing that. Morris Blum owned the radio station and was a champion of a lot of the figures.
ANN.
And play.
Do you have Dr. Larry Blum's contact information?
I do not, no.
I will send it to you.
That would be wonderful. So a lot of these properties we have not had approvals on. Some of them we have in the past. And then when the tsunami mural was in court, we lost some of those, but that was a long time ago. It's a different day and age. And I think we're ready to go back and see where people's feelings are again. And then I think that's it. That's what we have there. I'm sorry that I've rushed through this so much, but I wasn't, yeah.
Great ideas. I love it.
And I can send it out to everybody, Jeff, so.
Okay, you have it, right, Genevieve?
Yes.
Okay, screen sharing. Oh, did I get it off the screen?
Yep, yep, we're
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so I wish we could have a long discussion. And do you have any questions?
Not quite 15
It looks good.
Thank you, Jeff and Julia, so much for all that effort and work. And I'm sorry you had to.
I'm sorry I have to cut it off, but I'm happy at another time to continue a discussion on it. And I'll
Yeah.
reintroduce budget information later, but we're not asking right now. We're not that concerned with that right now, but we need to redo all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
So-
one thing, please, Jeff.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you so much for the opportunity to present this to you guys, and I'll leave it in your
Thank you,
hands.
Jeff.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Brian, I'll say real quickly, I think we have a great opportunity and an opening to have things at the visitor center with the new board that we can now, have more presentation of public art in kiosks at the visitor center.
Yes, and also the mayor and I did a tour of the library, and I have made connections because I really want to include art in public places in choosing some of the, or helping decide on some of the murals within the building, and also their art exhibit. Oh, sorry. Exhibition spaces. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Genevieve, you're on mute. Still can't hear you, Genevieve.
Sorry, I'm on mute. I'm going to bring it back to the agenda. David, could you go ahead and discuss the Vision Works with Kristen Elstner project?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so I think at the last meeting I talked about the Vision Works Community Connections progress with project Kristen Elstner. Just to give you a little background, hi there. It's a collaboration with Vision Works, Stanton School, Annapolis Police Department, and some other folks. And the bottom line, the goal is to get kids between the ages of 16 and 22 interested in photography. And the project would marry those children with the members of the Annapolis Police Department. So basically each group would tell their story, document that through photography and written word. And at the end, the results of that project would be displayed someplace for the public to see. Basically, having talked to her, she's looking to, basically find some sourcing for some funding for this project. I think her original budget is like $32,000. That includes reusable cameras, digital cameras that will also be used for other projects outside of this one. So basically, the bulk of that price would be for those cameras, the purchase of those cameras, and I guess obviously for framing and hanging and matting, that sort of thing. So basically, she's looking to get some funding from AIPPC. Not quite. I know we just saw the budget numbers come through today in the email, so I'm not quite sure where we stand in terms of what we're able to give to her. Again, her budget's $32,000 for the total project, and obviously it would begin completion once we secured the funds to get started.
I encourage everybody to look at her proposal. She just recently got back from Oslo, from the Nobel area, doing a project there, but she's done projects in, I forget if it was 26 or 32 countries around the world.
Links to her project and the proposal. So if you, which is on the proposal, click on some of the links, you'll get a chance to see some of the stuff she's done in the past. And Genevieve, you're still on mute if you're saying anything.
No, I was actually speaking to my assistants in the room.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, I can send the proposal to my husband. We're Sony dealers, so I'll see if maybe we can get a good deal on the cameras, and we might be able to bring that down a little bit. But
we appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll check into that.
So I guess the overall goal is, talking to her about a week or so ago, is just looking to, we would be that starting point for her to go about and seeing how much money she has raised, as she needs to raise to complete the project. I know she's reached out to the police department; they may have some funds. I sent her a link to a couple other organizations, Maryland State Arts Council, and some other folks who also fund our projects like this. So I guess the question to the committee is, how much do we feel maybe we could lend to her, well, give to her to support her project? In light of all
What
the
was
other
her
things
budget request again, David?
I'm sorry?
Her budget request?
He's looking for 32,000.
$32,000.
$32,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if we gave her 2,500 as sort of seed money to get started?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking we're just looking for, I mean, we're not here to fund the whole thing. We're definitely,
Right.
definitely want to, contribute to the project. So, I just, again, in light of all the other projects we're talking about, plaques and murals and everything else, we want to make sure, we have enough to go around. But just, I want to, 2,500 is a good base number. We can start there if people are comfortable with that number.
You can bid on it?
Can bid on it.
I love her idea, and I hope you guys all really look at her proposal, because she really takes into consideration not only what we've been through, but what we're going through right now as a country. And I also, to me, it fit right into what I've been trying to work on in the mayor's office, is trying to turn our Parks and Rec department into our Parks, Rec, and Culture department. And I just hope you guys all will look seriously at her proposal. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this, like I said, last month, Brian. And like I said, Brian indicated it is a great marriage, especially in light of the current climate, to kind of start that dialogue, especially get children. As a father of a 12-year-old, I would love for him to not be afraid of the police. So, start that conversation. Not only that, it gets him engaged and in art and writing, which is becoming a dead art. So, I think it's a great benefit for the community at large to kind of, and plus as a photographer, I'm kind of biased towards the whole thing anyway. So, but that's just me. But anyway, I think, if the committee is comfortable with 2,500, or do you have a conversation, a discussion, or another offer, or open a discussion at this point?
Ashley, are you there? I had a legal question regarding after what we went through last time.
I'm here, sorry.
So Ashley, at this point, we're not exactly procuring art, but we would be giving her a deposit to begin this project. Is that something that we can do?
Yes, because this one you're clearly supporting art, so
Okay.
I don't see any problems with that.
It's all that clear then. Do we have a motion for the $2,500 to Kirsten Elsner's project?
I'll make a motion to donate $2,500 to Vision Works.
I'll
I'll
second
second.
it. It's Krista.
And roll call, please.
All right, Joe,
Aye.
David,
Aye.
Elizabeth,
Aye.
Barbara,
Can't hear you.
Cynthia,
Aye.
Krista,
Aye.
Genevieve.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next thing, we already discussed the plaques and Commissel opening his gallery, so I'm going to move on to the grants and grant writer. We currently don't have somebody on the commission that has offered to take the grant writing. Ashley and Lynn Farrell, the assistant city manager, have offered their assistance with grant writing for us. So I think now is a time for us to start. Well, it was a long time ago, but we should definitely look into this and take the opportunity that we have the assistance now to find some grants to help us fund AIPPC. Just for reference, again, the ballpark quote for the Cars Beach mural, right around the same as it was, unfortunately, 7 years ago. So it's ranging somewhere between $16,000 to $20,000. I did send out our current fiscal year budget coming into 2021. It was $68,000. So if we take 20,000 out of that and then, you know, continue to do murals alone, that could deplete our budget. So having extra funding coming in is definitely beneficial to AIPPC being able to provide more art throughout the whole city. If there is somebody else on the commission that didn't offer to write grants before that would like to work with Ashley and Lynn on this, besides just the chair and vice chair, then co-chair, then please, you know, reach out and tell us, or you can tell us now that you'd like to work on these.
I would love to help. I have no grant writing experience other than watching 2 webinars.
You're in for a treat.
It's mainly time. It's mainly, it's mainly time. Yeah.
You are in for a treat.
What did you say?
Said you're in for a treat. Grant writing is an art form.
Learning experience.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that too. I actually have some experience as a grants reviewer. So I'd be happy to bring that perspective if that's helpful.
Sold.
Yes. Yay. Fabulous. I love it. Thank you guys very much. And then you can work in conjunction with Ashley and Lynn. So now the big part is finding grants that, you know, we can apply for, or anything that we can apply to the current projects that we've discussed over the past couple of meetings that we would need additional funding for.
Hey, Genevieve, 2 years ago, I sat through one of the library's grants and sponsorship seminars. So I know that the library has that program that you can go in and use your computers. So you can do searches for grants.
Yeah.
So maybe Joe and I can go and sit down there one day and with our mics on and look through the computers.
Yeah. Joe
Sure.
lives across the street from the new library.
Exactly.
So.
I was there today actually. So
Awesome.
Nice.
Is it open?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
open.
It-
It's
I
beautiful.
leave town for a couple of weeks and like all this stuff happens, murals and art and stuff. And geez, man, it's time.
You should travel more, David.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
All right, well, how about we make that the grant subcommittee? So we have our first subcommittee. Yes?
Yeah.
Hey, okay. Any other suggestions from the commission for subcommittees? Originally, we had done, what was that, Barbara? It was a music subcommittee. And what else did we have? Oh, gallery. It was gallery. Does anybody else remember what they were? When we had the meeting at Whimsy Cove, we talked about subcommittees. I could pull the notes, but I didn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Genevieve. I'm gonna have to look at my notes too. But I thought one was like poetry and literature because I said I was interested in that one.
That's right. Anybody have other suggestions for subcommittees? Maybe we have a mural subcommittee.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of topical because like music is kind of on the wayside. We're looking at Mural City now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, we can plan for next year music, crossing fingers, you know, so it doesn't hurt to plan for it.
well, I can get on the music if we, you know,
Yeah,
and help out with the murals and be on music as well. That's cool.
cool.
Yeah, I like to help out with the murals. Anything art. I'll do anything art related.
Well, then I'm putting you down for all of them.
Yeah.
They said all are related
Because
now.
everything is art.
I know, that's true.
Check,
I mean,
check.
Grant writing is not art.
It's an art form.
It
It's
could
not
be
art.
an art. It could be an art. The
Yeah,
art
true.
of grant writing.
Maybe it
So there's
is. The art of writing, it's true.
Yep. Any other suggestions?
Do we have like public outreach or and the stuff that I know Chris was talking about, like, you know, reaching out to other, you know, like business, especially in this time, so we got to be a little more creative. I think maybe public outreach just to, you know, do the analog thing and getting, I know we have social media and that kind of stuff, but you know, that face-to-face is always has a bit more of an impact.
Definitely.
Right, Krista? And
Krista, you're on mute.
She's cussing me out on mute.
I know. I've been doing that, David. Yeah, we'll put Krista on that one.
I'm already doing outreach before there's a committee. You know that.
That's why we put you on it.
Yep. You're
We
good at
revolved
it.
the whole thing around you, Krista.
Any other suggestions?
Well, consider there's
If
only one.
anybody's talking, make sure you unmute yourself.
So a while back, Genevieve, I sent you a list of, I said, a mural committee.
I'm sorry, what was that? You broke up.
Oh, sorry. I had suggested a mural committee.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Deal with the murals. And then the structural and art review committee. So the art that we currently have in the city, as far as reviewing for needed fixings or things like
Exactly.
that.
Oh, yeah. And that kind of segues into something else that I would like to add to the agenda next month, September, is for us to appropriate parts of our budget, because we currently don't do that, towards maintenance, to outline our budget that we have, instead of just going as we go, saying, okay, yes, we're going to do this much for this or this much for that. That possibly we can kind of subcategorize our budget, saying, based on the 68,000, we'll set aside 10,000 for murals, or or so forth, 20,000 for maintenance fees, and then if it's not spent all in one year, then it carries over, to the following year. But I think it would be good if we outlined going forward how we anticipate spending the budget. It's also good for the council to see an outline of how we do anticipate spending the budget. It helps them for next fiscal year, knowing how much we spent, how much we think we're going to spend, and how much we will need to spend in future years, especially since we're adding more art to our collection with the murals and our other agreements that we may do that makes us responsible for the maintenance of them. Thank you. I'll make sure that I put that on the agenda, but it's just some things to think about. And then for September, you can bring in based on what we've spent in the past and going forward, what we may need to spend from the budget for those things.
On that note, this is Krista. I also think it's really important that when we are accepting the artwork from artists that are proposing projects, that we really take a close eye at what their conservation plans are. To keep up the art and keep, what their window is of time that the art is going to be displayed, and any changes. I mean, I just don't want us to get into that situation that we have with the chickens.
Yeah, well,
It was not our project.
yeah, the chickens weren't our project.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but totally see, yes, yeah, that it should be defined, and we did have a discussion about the chickens going forward after the PVA students or Maryland Hall in conjunction with Bates. After they rehab our chickens, we would like to return them on display somewhere, possibly at Maryland Hall or whatever, but when that happens, when that time comes, that we will definitely have to have some sort of agreement or letter of understanding as to who's going to take care of them, whose property they are, because right now they're just kind of floating around. And
and I think that can be part of each project when people do their proposals. I think that's important. And this wasn't to bring up the chickens per se, I'm not, being hard on the chicken project, but I just think art in general, I've brought this up at meetings before that, and also with my conservation background, that it's just really important to plan ahead to what maintenance might be needed, whether it is a mural or an installation in a garden or what have you. With regards to planning out and appropriating funds for the future. The only thing that I would say that I might have a concern with is that there might be a year where we're a little more heavy on the murals than we are sculpture, or maybe we need to put more money towards the music program. Like right now, we don't have music right now, and we don't know what 2021 is going to look like. Hopefully things will look a little better as we get through the year for our musicians. But if we back ourselves into a corner where we have those funds already allocated, I don't know. I guess I'm just voicing a little concern there about, if you start allocating for a certain area, then we might have to be borrowing a lot, because it's not like we have a huge budget unless we get some amazing grants from our new grant committee.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's just something, and we can definitely work on Ashley with like figuring out, how to set that up as far as, would it necessarily be set in stone if we said that we're allocating 20,000 towards murals next year? I mean, it would seem that we could possibly go in and reappropriate some of that if we had to, based on commission votes. But it's just, like I said, I would like on the agenda for September so we can continue the conversation about it and figure out where we go. Okay. And it also inherits, some sort of responsibility with our budget, and then planning, like you said, with conservation and knowing that we have the funds, because as it is now, we have to go on the art walk and figure out what does need restoration work, and that too gets awfully costly. So our budget may be gone very quickly for that. So some planning would tell us that we had X amount of dollars for restoration this year, so we can make a list of the high priority items and spend that money on the restoration, during that year, and then the following year, what could wait till next year, or get some grant money for restoration of our pieces. So
I just know with the federal government, when you have things that are allocated into certain areas, they're pretty strict as to where they are.
Yeah.
So I like the flexibility. I'm just going to voice my opinion here. I like the flexibility that we can decide as a group as to where the money needs to go. I like that. So anyway, that's my opinion on it.
This is Ashley. I can talk to the finance department and see what would apply to you as a commission, because you guys might be able to just sort of put tentative placeholders in for the council to get an idea of what you're doing, but still retain some flexibility. But I'll check with finance on that.
Yeah. And in the federal government, it's much different than that.
Yeah. Thanks, Ashley. I appreciate that. And then that'll help us moving forward as far as budgeting our budget, what we're going to spend it on and for. Okay. Well, that concludes the agenda. Thank you everyone for signing up for subgroup committees. I'm excited. If you decide later that you want to sign up for an additional one or something else, just let us know. I know, David, isn't it great? and we'll definitely add your name to it.
I would like to add, this is Krista, I would like to add the chair and co-chair to the outreach committee.
Okay. Sounds good, Krista. Thanks for nominating us.
You're too kind.
Sharing the love. Any open discussion at this time?
Are we talking about, we're meeting in August? Are we not?
No, sir. There is no meeting in August. The next meeting is September 29th, 7 p.m. More than likely, probably virtual again.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. You guys are great. Say hello to Annapolis for me.
Oh, we will, Dave.
Maybe there's something else.
Motion to adjourn.
What's that?
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, right. A motion to adjourn? I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah, I second it.
I'll second it.
All right.
David, by the way.
Are you calling from Oregon?
Yes, I am. Where it's nice and bright and sunny and 90 degrees.
Lovely.
All right, I got a kid screaming for my attention. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Be safe.
All right.
Be safe, David.
Bye-bye.
David. Bye.
Bye.
You.